SoFi success. And that it was. Big success in SoFi this year, stemming from last year's investment. I am head over heels happy, so happy, ecstatic with the success SoFi has had. And what makes it so rewarding, so satisfying, is it incorporated everything that we do here at Data Productions Media, Data Capital Invest, when it comes to analyzing companies in the stock market. We look at fundamentals financially. We look at the charts for trading. We look at the astrology. And then we look at the gematria. It's not just fundamentals and trading. Obviously, yes, you can get ahead, and that's really all you need. But when you use the astrology in conjunction with the gematria, when you add all four of those together, that's when you get powerful returns. That's when you get powerful gains, And so that's awesome. Super awesome to see. And we've had such success with SoFi. And so we'll look here. You'll see my position. I still have 1,000 shares of SoFi. Already is still trading at $15.95. So I'm up $9,000, which is 131.72%. And my average is $6.88. And that's going all the way back to March 23rd when I added SoFi to my my growth stock portfolio for the very, very first time. And so let's just go back a little bit to where we started, because now, December 17th of 2024, SoFi just hit 10 million members. So let's go back to where it all started. Some notes. I dropped a newsletter in March 2023 on SoFi. We had a banking crash crisis. Saturn was entering Pisces. Pluto was entering Aquarius. And the gematria and astrology worked. And now Noto is betting big on the company going forward in the future. And so what I first want to look at, let's first bring this up. All right. Credit events, banking crisis. March 2023, United States bank failures. Collapse of 3 U.S. banks, Silvergate Bank, Silicon Bank, Signature Bank in March 2023. What's the gematria? 2023 banking crisis means the bottom is in 333 English ordinal. Maybe. And there was a couple other bank failures. We had Washington Mutual Bank, IndyMac Bank, and these were for billions of dollars. Credit Suisse borrows more than $50 billion from another Swiss bank. And so this was all happening at the same time. Saturn was entering Pisces, and Pluto was transitioning into Aquarius. All right. So we keep that in mind. Let's go down here to what we had at the time. Right. And so for March 2023, this was my newsletter. Okay. I had SoFi Technologies Inc., type growth, industry banking, headquarters, San Francisco, California. The PE ratio at that time was 19x, and the debt to equity was 0.99. And that current price, when I dropped it, was $5.74. But at that time, my cost per position was $6.10 with 82 shares. So this was a longer term thing with me adding shares over time, but I understood the value of this company. And I was trying to tell people in my community for the longest time. And this is some easy gematria, guys. Like, wasn't the hardest thing in the world to see, right? Look, Social Finance Inc., 137 English ordinal. Social Finance Incorporated stock, 137 English reduction. Buy SoFi stock in 2023 for a large gain, 137 English reduction. All 33, the 33rd prime number, right? Social Finance Inc., Social Finance Incorporated Bank. buy SoFi stock in 2023 for large gain. Those are all green flags for me to buy when I did. And I've explained multiple times why 137 is important. It goes back to the history of the stock market. It goes back to stories. It goes back to finance. It goes back to money. This is all energy we're talking about here. And then we're talking about the water, the age of water, the fluidity of finances of the age we're going in. Fintech is huge. You know, money is considered water in a lot of ways. And with financial technology, it's making it more fluid. It's making it easier for people to get their money right, like SoFi likes to say. So we have SoFi equals 22 English reduction, water equals 22 reduction. And on top of that, the NFL SoFi Stadium for the Chargers and the Rams looks like a raindrop, a water drop. So another thing to consider. So Social Finance Incorporated, SoFi stock, SoFi Technologies Incorporated in 2024, both equal 133 in the Chaldean. 133 is another solid investment number. Then we look at some of the 67s in Gematria, which is 33 steps away, 33 digits away from 100. We have water, English ordinal 67. Then we have all 67 in English reduction. SoFi with Saturn, Cronus and Pisces. Saturn controls banking stocks in 2023, discounted bank stocks, all equal 67 English reduction. So you see all the energetic matches right there. Again, this is easily to find. I have a video on this. This is from March 2023. So this was over a year ago, almost 2 years ago, and we're finally seeing it pay out. We're going to go over here to look at some of the banking, the fundamentals for the banking side. I can get there. Hold up. Let's see. All right, let's see. All right, so we got SoFi fundamentals. You know, the assets liabilities at that point was 5.5 billion, and so I took the 5.5 billion of equity it had at that moment with the 934 million shares that it had outstanding at that point. So the estimated book value for that price, I said fair value at the time, the estimated book value at that time was 588. And remember, the current price was 574. So, I mean, these were buys all day. No exposure in business commercial banking. CEO Noto continues to buy shares, which he was. And SoFi sued the White House for the extension. Student loans not being repaid if paused again in June will hurt the short term, but most recent extension that has cost the bank at least $6 million in lost profits. SoFi says it could lead to a total of $30 million losses if it continues through August. So at this time, there was a lot of bearish narratives with the loans, but people started to forget the bigger picture for SoFi. It was never just the student loans. It was growing into be a bigger financial juggernaut. You know, their SoFi Invest platform, the Galileo. It wasn't just their student loans, personal loans. But that was the narrative at that time a year and a half ago, and that's why we had opportunity to buy shares. And so the last point I want to bring up on SoFi and the success moving forward in 2025 is Noto betting big. So what Noto recently did was he took a loan against his against $2 million worth of shares of SoFi. Let me see. No, $33 million worth of shares SoFi. My bad. So Goldman Sachs covers that loan. So essentially, this is how that loan works. Noto was offering 2 million shares to Goldman Sachs in return for a $33 million loan. And news came out that said it's supposed to mature in 2028. So what does this mean? And there's some stipulations and some bottoms and tops for it. And so what does that mean? If the price of SoFi is over, I think, $30 in 2028, the lever adjusts, right? So Goldman Sachs will only get about 1,000 shares if the price goes over $30, but that's their cap. Now for Noto, if the price goes below $13 by 2028, he owes all 2 million shares, but that's all he will owe. He won't have to owe more. So there is a ceiling for Goldman Sachs to cover whatever happens in the future if it continues to go up like we hope it does. And there's a bottom for Noto to protect his risk of only giving up 2 million shares to Goldman Sachs if things don't go well. But you're not making this bet from Noto if you don't believe the stock price is going up. And there's a lot of things he could do with this money. I mean, he could buy more SoFi stock with it. He could do something else, but really just gives himself liquidity and it gives himself optionality. This can also still be paid back in cash if he wants. So this is awesome. I think this is a good move. Noto, very smart guy. I like him a lot at what he's been doing. So I believe the bottom is at least $13 for SoFi. And I'm excited, and hopefully we can see it get to $20 early next year in 2025. When we get over $20, that's probably when I'm gonna start selling just some shares, because again, I got some things I wanna add to my repertoire for my businesses and stuff. And with SoFi doing so well, I feel like you got to take profits, just a little bit of profits at some point. But that's my presentation on SoFi and the success from 2024. We killed this to be over 130% and to continue going, to have a double up and still be in a safe position. Great CEO, great fundamentals, and exponential growth. The sky's the limit for this stock. And I'm going to continue to hold strong.